appear on Exitus Twitter?
Yeah, I've got one on mine as well if you want to
Okay, I will
redo
check
that.
your. I will check
And
yours.
Exodus, if you've got the YouTube stream, just to make sure we are live and stuff.
Let me check right now.
Okay, we're live. Okay, we're just waiting just a couple of seconds, just because there's a bit of a delay on the YouTube stream. But welcome to today's show, guys. Hopefully it's going to be a really good, a fun one. We've got Tivra with us, and obviously Exus as always, and we're going to be talking about the year of 2022 and what to look forward to in 2023. And as you're probably more than aware, so much has happened. I mean, 2022 has just been. It feels like 10 years all condensed into one. If this was the normal world, I think that's the way it'd be looked at. And with all the shenanigans that's actually been happening in the crypto space, it's quite important to note that actual fact, Decred has actually produced some of the greatest software and had some of the greatest experiences, including the consensus change in May. So all of this stuff going forward. Now, before we get into it, if you guys in the chat could just give us a thumbs up if you can hear us okay, and you can see us okay and everything's fine. And also, if you've got questions, that would be absolutely brilliant. So it looks like we've lost Exodus for the time being. I'm sure he'll be back in just a moment. So Tivra, what was your big moment of 2022? What do you think was the pinnacle for you?
Well, in general, talking about crypto in general, definitely the FTX moment was the big one. Even though it's like nothing new, right? Nothing new really happened. We had Mt. Gox, we had what was it, Bitfinex. So in a way, it's nothing new. But I think, basically, I think this every time this happens. With Mt. Gox, it happened. With Bitfinex, it happened. More and more people are waking up to the fact that it's really. I mean, this phrase we always repeat: "Not your keys, not your coins." It becomes like a mantra, but it's really hard to. It doesn't sink into people unless they really feel a threat, like really viscerally. They have to feel this threat, and the reason it keeps repeating, I think, is just because there weren't that many people there at the time of the Mt. Gox, at the time of the Bitfinex. It wasn't as big as it is now. So for me, I mean, I don't want to say it's a good thing, because that would be too cynical, and I know how many people lost money, and and I feel sorry for them, of course. But at the same time, I think there is a silver lining to this, and I hope everyone recovers from this. But it is a wake-up moment, and I think the solution, and more people are waking up to this finally, the only solution is to go decentralized, as crypto was intended. So we're going back to the roots. Now we're going back to the roots finally. Because I think I'm around since, let's say, 2013, not so active, but it was just downhill in a way. I mean, we were going away and away, more and more away from our roots, from the origins. And I think this moment could be the one that really compels people to ask, what are we here for? What is the reason for being here, and what are our core values?
Yeah, I completely echo them, and to be fair, I mean, I wasn't around in 2013, so I obviously I've done all the reading on Mt. Gox and stuff, but even to me, it came as a massive shock how these things can just blow up. And I mean, my big moment was probably Terra. Is it called Terra Luna? Yeah, and me and Exodus had just done a live stream about stablecoins literally within the weeks of running up to that crash, and it was like, wow, this is like $100 billion project, and it's just gone up in flames. And I couldn't agree more. And it's these moments where we should be saying to people that are coming in, right, these things have happened, and there are openly scammers and cash grab people all involved in this market, and because it's dealing with money, we have a lot of that going on. It's absolutely crazy, and I've never known that in any other market. But going to a self-custody model is more important now than it's ever been. And I mean, just a kind of a real life example. I had a conversation with my parents this week, and they have nothing to do with crypto. My dad thinks it's a complete scam, and he always worries about me. He's like phoning me up. Are you sure you're okay? You're okay doing this? And it's like, at the end of the day, the only time they're hearing about these projects is when these big things blow up. They're not hearing about actual fact. This is a moment in time where you can hold your money in a wallet, and you can be completely safe from all this. And
exactly.
It is important that we find the decent projects, and I think personally Decred is on top of that path.
And what you said, holding self-custody and so on, I think so many people are robbed of this experience because the first time you download the wallet and you hold your own coins and you send, let's say you send to a friend or to yourself or whatever, but that feeling that you're sending value without an intermediary, without a bank, without a third party, it's like a magical moment, so to speak. And I think so many people are robbed of this experience because they just go to the exchange, whatever, FTX, Bittrex, whatever. They just buy their coins there and they park the coins. And it's like, you didn't really experience crypto, right? It's same as stocks.
Yeah,
that's the sad thing.
And the same could be said for kind of multi-coin wallets as well. A lot of the ones that kind of they don't necessarily give you keys. I know some of them that do, but there's nothing stopping them from kind of turning that service off and stuff. So I mean, Decrediton was my moment. Downloading Decrediton, putting my money into that, and I took it off of a wallet called Coinomi or something like that. It was called. I forget now. Yeah, but they were having similar services where it kept going off and coming off. I was like, this something not quite right here. So, and I also moved away from Decred's mobile wallets, and that's something else we should probably talk about is the difference in security between mobile wallets and kind of wallets that you can put on any kind of OS, operating system. But yeah, absolutely amazing. What about you, Exus? What was your big moment, good or bad, in 2022? Oh, I don't know if Exus can hear us. We'll come back to
yeah.
Exus.
Sorry, I'm having internet troubles right now. I'm currently in Asia and it's not very good for internet. But you asked my favorite moment of 2022 for Decred?
Yeah, either favorite or worst moments in crypto generally.
Favorite moment definitely seeing the DEX fully complete with SPV and built right into Decrediton. I think that was really great to see that come to fruition. Worst moments, probably the Luna collapse and the I guess FTX collapse recently. Just a huge massive loss of money, a huge loss of confidence in crypto. So yeah.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think those two moments in 2022 definitely kind of ring out. And in the notes here, I've got a few others, and one of the things was the DeFi attacks, and I've just got a whole bunch of them. And until I read this article, and I've put the link in there, I hadn't realized how many there actually were. I'd heard of a couple of them, and mainly they were Ethereum bridges between one and two, and there was. I mean, how factual this is, I'm not 100% sure, but there was certainly stories of people losing up to 600 million, or communities losing that much. So, and to go back to Exodus's point about DCRDEX, we've got this bridge now where you don't need to wrap your Bitcoins in, some smart contract. It's actually, they're real Bitcoins being moved between atomic swaps, and it's absolutely phenomenal. The next thing then, let's look at the big bit of news from this week. And I mean, we can come back to kind of what's happening in 2022, but I know this is on your mind. I'm sure it's on all the community's mind. Is Jake's post this week on the blog.decred.org, which has been mirrored on Decred magazine. What are your thoughts on what Jake said there? Personally, I was rallied up by it. I hadn't realized that so much of shenanigans had happened, and reading the Cointelegraph piece just made me so angry. I was like, whoa, that's not right. How can they get away with this stuff? But back to you, Tiva. What were your thoughts? What were your highlights on that article?
Well, you saw that after you posted the article, I tagged some people that were mentioned in the article, and one of them replied, and I thought his replies were really good. But yeah, he was balanced. But I asked him, because he said it's just a question, right? The article said, is Decred I don't know, a new technology, or it's a scam or something like that, right? But I said, like, he said it's just a question, so it's not a hit piece because that's just a question. But questions aren't innocent, right? It's like I gave him the example of, did you stop beating your wife, right? I mean, the question can be like, why would you even ask if it's a scam, right? And they wouldn't ask that about Ethereum before the ICO. Nobody, the publication were hailing it as this great revolutionary thing. There was no article that I'm aware of that came out and said, is Ethereum a scam? Okay, the Bitcoiners, maximalists, they were all saying it's a scam, that's true. But not the major publications, not in this way. And yeah, that was really odd. About Jake's post, it's exciting because I think also the community likes to see all the complaints, that were coming out on various channels like trading channel and so on, and to see all these complaints put out in such a systematic and honest way by someone who is central to the project. I think it got everyone also really hopeful, because in the last paragraph there is a hint of a coming solution. So there is a lot of hype and excitement about that.
Just to chop in, but one thing that I've witnessed in my 3 or 4 years of being in crypto is everyone loves a bit of controversy, and that's what it kind of gives us, and it sparks that kind of that energy. And yeah, absolutely. I thought that was great, and that because unfortunately Decred works very, very well, so the controversy doesn't really happen. I mean, the biggest controversy we've had, which was almost a no story this year, was cutting the miners reward from 60% to 10%, which I know I saw a few complaints, but it literally went by pretty much unseen. But yeah. So what were your other highlights of Jake's post? And we'll move on to Exodus's thoughts in a moment.
The main thing for me is because like you said, the discussion about miners, this is what we were talking about. It feels to me like for 1 year on trading channel and so on, this miner controversy, miner. But the more interesting parts are those that aren't discussed so often, namely that this, let's say, this suppression happened also in the form of social media suppression, and the article you mentioned. And like, for instance, about social media, one very interesting thing is that if you put Decred project into that website that checks if you're shadow banned or not, it shows that it is shadow banned. That's really strange. The whole project's Twitter handle is shadow banned. I mean, and for instance, Bitcoin isn't, Monero isn't. I checked a few other cryptos, Zcash isn't. Like, where does this come from? It's not like I have like some conspiracy theory in my mind. No, I'm just stating the fact that it's really strange that this happened, and the engagement on the tweets is much lower. So that aspect, I think, is really interesting. Something wasn't discussed so much in the community.
In the Matrix channel, I forget which channel it was now. I think it was the trading one. Dave Collins posted a link to the guy that not shadow banned, but complained about the Decred project and ultimately got it banned. And I was reading through why the Decred project's banned on Wikipedia, and it's like, this is absolute nonsense. And it looks like it was the third version as well. So it looks like it'd been banned 2 previous times as well.
I was collaborating on that Wikipedia article. I was writing a little bit in it. Completely shocked, because, for instance, you have cryptos that are much, much, much smaller. Like, I'm saying 50 times smaller than Decred, and they have their Wikipedia page. So it's bizarre. It's really bizarre.
It blows my mind that they could be that way. I mean, maybe put a little note on this has not been completely verified, but there was a piece in who was it that they said, it's Forbes. This has been written by a co-writer, a staff writer, so it didn't count. It's like, I don't know, if it's published on Forbes, it's published on Forbes, right?
Right.
Yeah. How about you, Exodus? What were your takeaways from
sure.
Jake's
So
post?
sure. First off, it was just exciting to see a new blog post. I think it was around 1.5 years since we've had one, and it's just nice to move the peg forward. And more importantly, it means the new feature is basically coming. So it should be here, I hope, soon. I don't know what it is. We all have speculations on it. I think we'll get to that a little later. The article was pretty much things I already knew. I already knew kind of all these things about Decred, but I guess it was nice to put it out there for the larger community, for those of you who didn't know about the Cointelegraph article, and for those of you who maybe didn't know, Decred tried marketing, spending a lot of money on attending events, hiring a big PR firm. Now, personally, I wouldn't say all marketing wouldn't work. I do think the past marketing attempts, they definitely didn't work, and I don't think we should do big events or hire big PR firms. But I think there are other approaches we could try. But yeah, I really enjoyed Jake's writing style. It's very direct, it's very just to the point. And I look forward to his future blog posts, which explain, what this new feature is going to be. So it's exciting. Obviously, he says it runs on Lightning Network and it has to do with the web. So
Right. One thing, just to interject a little, what Exitus said. Another thing that is important also, yes, that people come and always say, why you haven't tried marketing yet? So I'm really glad this blog explains that it was tried. Many things were tried already. People sometimes come and they don't know what already has been tried. Many things have been attempted. So I really think we need a radically new approach. Like Decred, everything Decred does is like sui generis. Like they do their own thing, we do our own thing. So in marketing, it should be the same, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. And I think I liked Jake's point about, we're going to have to go round. We can't go through the same channels. It was one of the reasons that I kind of came up with Decred magazine, because we had all these publications which were kind of not getting anywhere. And it's like, well, if we have one place where everyone can come, it may take a lot of time to build up that momentum, but at least that place exists. And in many respects, that should probably be the blog as well. The one issue I have with the blog, and I don't know if it's just me being useless, is I can't find a link to it on the main website. Is there a link on the main page? I couldn't see one, but
actually, I don't know that.
If it's not, I mean, that's something that probably should be addressed and make sure that that's prominent. And I particularly like what B and some of the other guys are doing with the news channel as well, making sure that the news is reported correctly. It's not a beef really, but another thing that I think probably should be addressed is having it as an RSS feed as well, because especially on Twitter, is I can actually patch in an RSS feed and it can auto tweet. And I think that would be quite important. Sometimes, not so much now, but certainly in the earlier days, these bits were missed. And even with Jake's post, I only heard it because I think it was Exodus actually sent it to me. Otherwise, it would have taken me a few more hours before that come through. So can we speculate? And like Exodus said before, we do not know what this new piece is, but based on the last interview with Jake, based on some of the things that he said, what do we think this new feature is?
Can I go first? Basically, I stand by my same guess that I made already in, I think, July or August. I'm not sure, but there was in trading channel we were all guessing, and my guess then was that it's because I went from okay, it's Lightning Network, and then I started researching online a little bit, like what things are happening on the Lightning Network that aren't just transfer of value. And then I saw one of the application is chat, so that was my guess that it's something related to Lightning Network chat.
Yeah, I'd come to a similar thing. I wanted to go a little bit further and say it was some kind of social network marketplace app. I thought,
That's
what's
interesting.
Decred missing was the thing that he said. What's it missing? And obviously he's now elaborated on marketing and things like that. But I thought, yeah, some kind of social media, some kind of marketplace app, all bundled into one. After his blog post, I started thinking, I wonder if it's a web browser, a Decred only web browser, that's patches in the Lightning wallet or something. But I don't know. It's complete speculation, guys. Exciting stuff, but complete speculation from me. How about you, Exodus? Any thoughts on that?
So certainly something related to chat, but also maybe something related to advertising, because that's something Decred struggles with. I don't know like the full capabilities of what Lightning Network can offer, and it'll be interesting to see how far they push that. It'll be interesting to see what the Lightning Network is really capable, other than just sending micropayments and maybe like text messages. I think it's something much bigger than just chat. Like I don't think chat would be something they would have kept so under wraps for so long.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So yeah, certainly not just it's a Lightning Network chat, because that already exists on Bitcoin, and people don't really get paid much attention to that. So it's certainly going to be something bigger. But I definitely like what you guys said. Maybe it's a web browser of sorts. Maybe it's something with advertising, but we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Initially I wondered if it had something to do with the Company Zero's ZK chat or communications project. I mean, I think, I don't know if that's been on hold for a few years now, though. Yeah, exciting stuff. So, I mean, 2023 is going to be quite an amazing year, I think. I think it's going to be different.
I just want to say one more thing. Whether or not this is a big feature or not, whether or not it really takes off, what matters is like the Decred devs are just going to keep building. So they're going to release this feature. We don't know what it is. Maybe it'll be huge for Decred, maybe it won't. But the point is they're going to keep building after this, and they're going to just keep building more things for Decred, because like I've said many times, we have the treasury, we have governance processes, we have Politeia. So this is just going to be another feature in a long line of features that are already very relevant and very useful. The DEX, Politeia, Lightning, privacy. So whether or not this is a giant thing, it almost doesn't matter on some level, because again, they're just going to keep going. I do think it's going to be good though.
Yeah, I really hope it would attract, whatever it is, I hope it will attract also new devs.
Yes, that'll be interesting to see how we're going to have to, if this will be something we need to market, because if it's released and only Decred people know about it, or maybe there's something about it that's just very unique and it automatically markets itself, because as Jake wrote in his blog post, marketing for Decred doesn't work. So that's going to be an interesting way. It's going to be interesting to see the solution to that.
That's very interesting. Yeah, maybe traditional marketing that doesn't work, but we will do what we can, let's say, on the grassroots marketing side of things, right?
Yeah, the grassroots stuff's going really well. I mean, maybe to interject a little bit before we move on fully to the 2023 thing, but the community, we've got the Decred video proposal for 2023 coming up, and we're quite excited because obviously there's been a lot happening this year. Just to kind of recap what's happening, so the state of the market that you're watching right now was actually part of the 2022 proposal to bring more live streams, and this is currently, I think it's our 11th episode, and it's it's gaining a bit of traction. But that was one of the initiatives. The other initiative was to kind of demonstrate the Decred software. So we've been looking at DCRDEX, looked at DCR data and just shown people how this stuff works. So moving forward, what can we expect? And I'll leave this into X's corner because this is his baby. What can we expect from the proposal in the video proposal in 2023?
Well, I think it's going to be similar to this year, except we would like to expand into Twitter Spaces. We think that's an interesting area. It's kind of nice sometimes not have to deal with the video. I think a lot of people, when they listen in, they just listen to the audio and not even watch the video. And it was just, we did a test run the other week where we just threw up a Twitter Spaces. And I think we had around 40 people, I think 42 people join in, and just in the hour we spoke, and we didn't announce it. There was no pre-announcement. So it was nice to see people just hop in, and anyone can volunteer to speak. So it's not something like this where it's just, oh, there's just 3 speakers and that's it. I think it's an exciting thing for the community to have. And I know Tivra was the mastermind behind this idea. So we're considering putting that in the proposal as well.
It'd be great to hear what you guys think. But Tivra, I mean, the Twitter Spaces thing came from you, and I'm hoping you're joining the proposal personally. But can you just elaborate a little bit more?
Oh yeah, basically the thing that attracted me about Twitter Spaces, because it's also a new thing for me, to be honest. Maybe I discovered it like when I knew about its existence before, but when the FTX fiasco began, that's when really many Twitter Spaces were going on. And I saw that one feature that I really like is that everyone who follows anyone who is in the space sees that the other person is in the space. So it has this really automatically, this maybe not the right word, but let's say viral property. Like Exitus said, we just opened it without announcing, and a Twitter space, and there were like 40 plus people, and I saw many names that are not like common Decred names that I see a lot on Twitter. So it does work. It does attract people who are just following other people and so on. One thing is also that is also good is that it will be possible to do it with a Decred Twitter account. I mean, that would automatically make it much bigger. I mean, we did it with our personal accounts now. If we did it with the Decred Twitter account, which has like almost around 50,000, if I'm not mistaken, that would create much a bigger splash, so to speak. And another thing is also we can. I talked to some more, let's say, popular people on Twitter who I won't name now, but they're interested also in joining. If someone with a bigger account comes in, let's say he has 100,000 viewers, then every viewer of his sees that he's in the space and maybe wants to join in. So it's a really good system to bring new people in, to bring people in that are outside of our, let's say, our circle that is usually. Another important thing is that, for instance, last Twitter space we did, there were 2 community members or 3 talking, and it's nice to hear from the community. It gives really a sense of just hearing each other's voice, I think. Okay, video is even more, but already the voice gives a sense of humanity, that we're not just nicknames to each other, not just just a string of letters. I think the sense of community is important. Like we cannot underestimate it. It's really important, and people feel included, that they are able to talk.
It's definitely important.
Sorry, go on. No,
I was going to say it's important to always have a stream of content to show the community is alive and well and hopefully growing. Exactly. I've known people have looked at the Decred Journal as a very as a form of like how healthy Decred is. That every month we have a news report showing our development progress, and this is something most projects don't have. I mean, I really haven't seen it in many other projects. And like you said, having a Twitter
point.
space creates a chain reaction where people who might not join before might be interested in listening and Decred and finding out what it is.
That's a good point.
There's certainly interesting to host it on the main channel and see what.
Yeah. One technical issue, let's say not issue, but I wish it was possible to do
Phoenix
it.
Screen, any thoughts?
Sorry, Exus. Go on, Tivra. You carry on, mate. I think Exus couldn't hear you.
Okay. I was just saying that a little quirk, let's say, of the Twitter Spaces is that you can only use it on mobile. I mean, this is terrible. I mean, no, I'm sorry. You can stream only on mobile, but you can listen on desktop. I really hope they change that. I mean, technically, the Twitter Spaces are not really that good, to be honest. But it's amazing that this viral property of followers seeing and so on. This is amazing. But it's technically it's not so good. I hope now Musk there makes a few improvements to it.
Well, obviously I couldn't join that Twitter space that you guys are talking about, but I had my nieces over and they were just so there's no way I could get on. But I did manage to listen to actually most of it live, and actually it was quite nice being a listener rather than someone that's participating, just to see how it was all working. And as people were coming in and as other people were kind of engaging in the conversation, it was just so organic, it was so natural. I'd love to. I just think there's so much scope for it, and I can't remember if it was your or Exus that said this, but a lot of the community members don't want to get on a video, and some of the conversations I've had over the past few months when I've been trying to invite people on, I've had this kind of not block wall, but it's very much no, I'm not doing that. And it was quite interesting to see that some of those same people were actually well up for the Twitter Spaces, and I was like, you know what, then this is the way forward, because if these people that I don't want to name names or anything, but they're quite key to the project, and I want to see them kind of having a voice, and I think most of us want to hear what they have to say because they're so critical. But so if Twitter Spaces makes that happen, I'm all for it, and I think the more of that, the better. And thank you so much for bringing this forward. One final question, because I wasn't involved, and I'm hoping to be on the next one. Do you have to hold your mobile phone to your ear or something? How does that work?
Yeah, you have to actually talk to your phone, into your smartphone.
Oh my goodness, I did not realize that.
Yeah. But another thing I forgot to say is because I saw that people are doing it, is they clip from Twitter Spaces and put it on YouTube. That's maybe also something that, who knows, if there are really interesting parts of our Twitter Spaces, maybe clips could be made for YouTube also.
Yeah, we could definitely take them and put them into shorts or something. That'd be really cool. One thing I did do, and I managed to, because I think either yourself or Exodus captured the audio, I was able to take the audio and put it into a podcast. So
nice.
that was brilliant. So the Twitter Space is available as a podcast as well on the Decred Magazine podcast. And it came out lovely. It was really nice. I'm very conscious. We're going to cut this one a bit short. We're going for 45 minutes tonight because obviously today, because these guys have got other stuff to do after this. But so we've got about 10 more minutes. Now, what other stuff are we interested in seeing going forward, especially with a focus on content, video, audio? Is there anything other than Twitter Spaces, other than stuff that we're already doing, that anyone's interested in seeing? Is there any area that we could improve on? Obviously, this is a proposal for the community, and it would be nice to gauge your views. Obviously, this will go live. I think something like the 20th of December, and it will be available for the complete next year. But is there anything that we want to see? For my one pennith's worth, I would definitely like to see more members taking up this opportunity of doing stuff. People like Tivra that are coming in, they've got this initiative. And I'd also like to see a more diverse culture building up as well. And not to sound sexist or anything like that, but I'd like to see females. I'm sure we've got plenty of well-spoken females in the community that could do this, and that's something I would like to see, so that we can appeal to the broader scope. But what about you guys? is there anything that you would like to see happen? Exodus, just start with you. Exodus is frozen.
I would just like to see
there
more
is.
views on the videos. Really, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you're there. Sorry.
Okay, I would like to I would say definitely more views on the videos. It really hurts to put together a video and for it only to get 200, 300 views. Who knows, maybe our YouTube account is also shadow banned, but I would certainly like to have, more views on really everything. I think that's really the best metric to measure whether something's working or not. As far as more diversity, I think crypto is like 95% men. So that's just, getting women involved might be more difficult than you think. But it would be nice, of course. And yeah, I would love to see more people step up to submit their ideas and market Decred. And like I always say, we have Politeia. It's there. Anyone can submit a proposal to make Decred better. And if it's a good idea, it'll probably get funded.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And it's it's interesting where it goes. Because you had a young lady doing your news one. Is that still a thing? And was it TikTok as well?
Yeah, she does TikTok for now. But we might continue doing the news videos with her. Because the videos I think got more views with a woman there, basically, someone nicer to look at than myself.
Me.
But I don't know. Maybe we'll find someone who's a little more crypto savvy to do news videos. Unfortunately, she had a hard time grasping some of the concepts, but she certainly likes Decred and still holds it. So yeah.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, and sometimes I think these things have got to be tried. And I for one, actually, I really enjoyed those videos, and the back and forth that you guys were having was interesting. Actually, it was really good. How about you, Tiver? Anything you'd like to see?
Oh, just by the way, I just remember that let's say our first. I don't know if this title is correct, but let's call her the first marketing director of Decred was a woman, coin artist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was really important in the beginning for the puzzles she did and so on. Many people joined Decred that way, I hear. And also in the translations, I know I helped with the Japanese translations a bit. So I know that a woman translated into Japanese. So there are some women involved, but yeah, I agree with you. It would be nice to see them appear.
More of a front person, yeah.
Yeah. Totally agree. Maybe, I don't know, it's also a question like if we can be more accommodating, or I don't know, question of culture, if we can be more welcoming. I don't know about these things, but it's true that if there are just men together, usually they tend to create let's say an atmosphere that maybe it's a bit like the military or something. But we were saying one thing I wanted to say is that like you said, diversity, but in another sense, basically, because I'm in crypto a long time, many things that come out new, I have like let's say a little bit of a conservative look. Let's say I'm like, no, this new thing, I don't understand it at all. Like for instance, NFTs, right? Like I always thought this is for maybe younger people, for Zoomer generation, right? I can't understand it, but I think it's also wrong to. I always had this attitude. Okay, it's BS, right? It's pointless. But then you have to. I don't know. I changed a little bit about that. I ask myself, maybe it's just not for. Maybe it's just I don't get it because I'm like maybe I'm older, or I just started too early, so I don't have this perspective they have. But I think it's nice to, like for instance, on Decred magazine, that there was this article now about NFTs, and I have a problem with NFTs because I really don't get them in a sense. But at the same time, I know it's something that people get really excited about and really interested. So it's nice to hear, let's say, other perspectives.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they can bring also different kinds of people in, I think. Because not everyone is like so technically minded. There are more artistically minded people. There are more. I think Ethereum, for instance, one of the successes of Ethereum was precisely this, that it brought in people who are not, because Bitcoin is just libertarians, geeks, I don't know, nerds, and so on at the beginning, right? And Ethereum managed to bring people who are more like artistically minded or more, let's say, social science type of people and so on. So this ability to bring different categories of people, let's say, it's a good one. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on the fence with NFTs, and
Me too.
The one thing I think, especially, I mean, if you guys haven't read the new NFT article on Deco Magazine, it's really good, actually. It's really good fun. And the one thing that I would hate is if all of those images were stored on chain and all of that extra weight and bloat.
Definitely.
Whereas the proposal that he's putting forward, that C12 is putting forward, of having the NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain, but the only way you can mint them is on the Decode blockchain by owning a ticket or by participating. And I just thought that was brilliant. And there certainly is going to be some value for it. I'm not sure that it's there yet. I think most of it's junk, but there are some unique ideas coming through, and I certainly like the idea that this was on Keyword Crypto. He was talking to me about this, where the artist, if you're an artist at the moment, what happens is you sell your painting and it's done. You know, the whole thing's over for you. And the people that profit out of artists are the people that own the paintings. And what he was saying is that NFTs allow you to have kind of a royalty system, much the same way that you would have for music. So they can, inside of the contract, say every time this NFT is sold, 20% of that royalty goes to the artist. And that's where I saw a really unique use case, actually. I thought,
that's
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Obviously, I'm not sure the technology's there, and I certainly, in many respects, I think it probably works better in the real world than it does digitally. Because at the moment on OpenSea, I can go on there, I can right-click, and I get an uncompressed version of the file. And it's like, well, I may not be able to submit that as my own, but I can still hang it up on my wall or whatever, But whereas the actual, yeah.
But I always said the same thing, like, what's the point if you just can save S and download the JPEG? What's the point? But then there are counter arguments, like you can also take a photo of the Mona Lisa, right? Or you can take a print that is like a perfectly detailed print of the Mona Lisa, and it won't be worth it as much as the Mona Lisa. Or there are artists who can actually make a duplicate. I don't know, I forgot the word, but basically, they can counterfeit. They can make almost like nobody can tell them apart, right? But still, it won't be worth much. So I don't believe in my own criticism from the past about this save as. It's a little more complicated.
Yeah,
but the royalties thing is really interesting. I didn't even know about that.
He was talking to me about it, because I basically said the same as what you're saying, and he kind of laid out this fairly decent argument. And it was like, you know what, that makes sense. Being a former artist myself, not painter but musician, I can definitely see that, and the amount of stuff we went through to get royalties, it was an absolute pain in the ass.
So even if we don't subscribe to it, just remaining open to different perspectives is not bad. I think just remaining open.
Yeah. How about your thoughts on NFTs, Exis? Anything there for you?
I'm unfortunately one of the types Tifra just described. I'm too like slightly mathematical to understand NFTs, or I'm not a very artistic person, unfortunately. So that's probably why I'm in Decred and not other things. But hey, if people like NFTs, why not embrace it to some degree? Didn't the NFT market kind of collapse lately, where they kind of all lost massive amounts of value?
Absolutely.
So I don't. I think C12's idea is really interesting, and if people want to see that, I'd love to see it happen. But personally, I'm not into NFTs, so
yeah, sure.
We're at the 45-minute mark, so let's just do a close up, and then if people are interested in this discussion, starting the new year, we'll re-elaborate on it. But final notes from you, Tivra.
Well, final note for me is I'm really excited for the coming year because my hope is that after what happened Luna FTX, we will go back to the roots, back to what crypto is really about, decentralization and privacy also. And Decred is positioned perfectly for that. And I mean, it's the crown jewel in crypto for decentralization and privacy. And now that the new feature is coming out, stable coins on DEX are coming out. So it seems like everything is perfectly lined up for a magnificent 2 years coming ahead, and we will be there. And the Twitter Spaces will also contribute to keep the community engaged and to get new people in the community. So it will be great.
Yeah, absolutely. No, really looking forward to getting them going. Sorry, Exus, I took your slot, didn't I? Go on. Final words from you, Exus.
Sure. Yeah, just like Tibor said, I think ChapJC, the DEX developer, said stable coins on the DEX in 1 to 2 months. So it's aligning kind of nicely with the new feature, whatever it may be. So I think Decred is certainly gearing up for a really exciting 2023. With the FTX collapse, a lot of people are going to be looking at self-custody, or at least you would hope there would be a movement towards self-custody, and Decred is perfectly positioned for that. So also with the FTX collapse, there's some people have said that maybe it'll bring the end of the bear market sooner than later. But yeah, I'm certainly really excited, and it's just nice to see the devs continuing on no matter what, and the community, seems to be getting more excited, and we seem to be having a little more organic growth. We now have a Discord channel. We discuss things.
Right.
But yeah, it's shaping up to be a great 2023.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for showing up. And final note from me is, oh God, I've forgotten what I was going to say. It's gone. Final note from me is, decentralization is the key. We've had loads of rubbish this year. Check out the DCRDEX. And if there's anything you want to see in the coming proposal, give us a comment. It's always great to hear your thoughts, and it's also interesting to hear how you think we've done this year. Okay, so I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear your feedback. Other than that, you have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. See you. Thank you.